Hello, folks. Let's see. Allow me a moment to share screen moving forward. Here we go. Hello, folks. Here we are. We are moving on to the next little segment for second season of Learning Hebrew. This is a prayer that is found in every morning of the service, throughout the days of the week, and also on Shabbat and Jewish holidays. Because of the first two words, it's called the Baruch She'amar. Baruch She'amar. Typically, Jewish prayers are named or entitled after the first one or two or three words, perhaps 70, 80, 90% of the time, not always. An example of not being named would be the Kaddish. Kaddish begins with the word Yit Gadal, and the Kaddish is not called the Yit Gadal, it's called the Kaddish. But perhaps 80%, maybe even 90% of Jewish prayers are called by the first one or two or three words. So this is the Baruch She'amar, and right away you see that there are a lot of Baruchs here. It's fairly easy once you learn how to sight read the word Baruch. Look at all these Baruchs. So this is kind of an easy prayer to learn. The words are Baruch She'amar V'haya Ha'olam. Baruch Hu. Repeat. Baruch She'amar V'haya Ha'olam. Baruch Hu. Next line. Baruch Oseh V'Reishit. Baruch Omer Ve'oseh. Second line. Baruch Oseh V'Reishit. Baruch Omer Ve'oseh. Third line. Baruch Gozer Umekayem. Baruch Mirachem al Haaretz. Baruch Mirachem al Haaretz. That's the final tzadi. Fourth line. Baruch Mirachem al Habriot. Baruch Mishalem Sachar Tov Lireav. Baruch Chai La'ad V'Kayam Lanetzach. Repeat. Baruch Chai La'ad V'Kayam Lanetzach. Baruch Podeh Umatzil. Baruch Shemo. Baruch is a very famous Hebrew word. It literally means blessed, or blessed is the one which. Baruch She'amar, blessed is the one who spoke, V'haya Ha'olam, and the world came into being, which is a veiled reference, or maybe not even so veiled, to creation. God is described in the book of Genesis as saying, let there be light. And if you look very carefully at the next 4, 5, 6 paragraphs of Bereshit, of Genesis, you'll see that every act of creation is one of speech. God, let the earth be separated from the waters, let the earth be dry and the waters be collected as seas and oceans. Let the earth bring forth its produce and its crops and its vegetation, and let the waters be filled with fish, and let the world itself have inhabiting upon it animals. Every act of creation in the early part of Genesis is as a function of God's speaking. It's creation through speech. So that's Baruch She'amar. Blessed is the one who spoke and the world came into being. Blessed is he or it. Blessed is it, namely God. Baruch Oseh Bereshit. Blessed is the one who does creation, present tense. Very interesting idea in this prayer that creation didn't happen only millions or billions of years ago. Creation is happening every single day. Baruch Omer Va'oseh. Blessed is the one who speaks and makes. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Baruch Gozer Umakayem. Blessed is the one who decrees and maintains or preserves, maintains or fulfills. Umikayem, maintains or fulfills. So we could say that Gozer means to decree. Mikayem is the one who keeps his word when decreeing. Keeping a promise is a human act that reflects the creation of the universe. Next phrase, Baruch Mirachem. Blessed is the one who is compassionate upon the world. Compassionate, Mirachem. Baruch Mirachem. Blessed is the one who is compassionate upon all creatures. That means animals and people. So this prayer is speaking over and over again about the value of speech. I said I would come back to Omer Ve'oseh, and so I'm returning to it. Omer means literally is saying or is talking. Ve'oseh is doing. So blessed is the one who talks and does. Fulfilling words in our common everyday life. When we keep our words, we keep our promises, we would be considered blessed and in the image of God. This next line is a little bit different. Baruch Mishalem Sachar Tov. Blessed is the one who literally makes payment, makes a good payment for those who revere God. This implies, or this carries out at least very clearly, the biblical attitude that when we do mitzvot, when we do what we're supposed to, we will be rewarded. In the ancient days, from the days of the Bible, this is the Tanakh, the Bible, for a good 1,000 to 1,200 years, maybe even longer, maybe 1,500 years, very clearly the idea was that when we do what we're supposed to, we will be rewarded. And if we are punished, it's a function of our misdeeds, our sinning, our sinful behavior. Perhaps about 2,000 years ago, which is at the end of the biblical period and the beginning of what's called the Mishnah, the Mishnaic period, the oral law, Jewish people begin thinking of life very differently. And you and I'm sure, would agree that there are times in our lives when we reject the idea of reward and punishment, which was a very important foundational element of Hebrew or Israelite theology. But we don't see that if people are suffering, it's because they deserve punishment, or if people are doing well, it's because they deserve reward. Reward and punishment is a very difficult theological structure for many modern Jewish people to accept. Some Jews may still hold by it, and it is an ancient pillar of Israelite tradition, but many Jews do not. This phrase reflects that idea of reward and punishment. Literally, Baruch Mishalem, blessed is the one who repays goodness for those who revere God. So we're talking about God as rewarding those who are deserving. The next line, Baruch Chai La'ad V'Kayam Lanetzach. This is poetic. Blessed is the one who Chai lives forever and is maintained for eternity. That means God's always around. Next line, Baruch Podeh Umatzil. Blessed is the one who redeems and protects. Baruch Podeh Umatzil, redeems and protects. Baruch Shemo, blessed is God's name. This is the Baruch She'amar, and it opens the door into a mode of thinking. How shall we think of God? How do we view God? What does it mean to be maintaining one's word every single day? And from the prayer of this section of the service, to be elevated to imitating God. And of course, it raises the question here in this line, Mishalem Sachar Tov Lireav, as to how do we appreciate reward and punishment. So there's a lot of theology addressed in these 5 brief lines, most of the words being very simple. It's a way to start the day, to ask questions. I look forward to seeing you next time, and we'll continue on with Adult Hebrew Season 2. Litraot until we see each other again. Shalom.